Hello, this is Edward Ejim Akwara, aka the 1 Minute Diplomat, making this video from the beautiful city of Abuja. I have been making this series of tapes basically as an effort to educate God's people on what they need to do, especially in this inclement and hostile environment we are living in a country like Nigeria and Africa in general. It is unfortunate that in spite of all the blessings Africa can boast of, people who have cornered power, cornered the means of production, means of distribution, have invariably excluded the majority of the people from benefiting from what should be the commonwealth of the people. So, like I said earlier in my videos, when I returned back to Nigeria after my stint in the Foreign Service, having served as a Consul of Nigeria in New York City and some other places, I had a divine revelation in St. Paul, Minnesota, that instead of staying in the United States of America, I should return to Nigeria, where I will be more useful and also have the opportunity of giving back to the people at least a little bit of what I had benefited from my country, both financially, in my academics, and many other things. So, in obedience to this prompting of the Lord, I returned to Nigeria and started looking at how I can be able to contribute in making this contribution that God had laid in my heart. In my research, trying to find out what really is the problem with a country like Nigeria, I discovered that our number one problem in this part of the world is poverty. And as a result, there is so much injustice because the people who are in positions of authority leverage on their financial resources to dehumanize the people, oppress, intimidate, and in many cases deprive them of what is their rightful entitlement. So, as I researched the situations that I found on ground, I was convinced that the key thing that is disturbing most of us in this part of the world is poverty. Poverty in terms of resources, mainly financial, to be able to get what we want. And even I understand that this world is not a partial place and that everybody is entitled to enjoy and leverage on whatever they see happening around. But unfortunately, the situation which should have been that of a level playing ground is never so, because those who are advantaged to be in positions of authority have excluded the masses. They know that if the masses remain poor, they can be able to cheat them of their patrimony. There's a case that is even happening right now where one of the money bags in Nigeria used his money to go and arrest and throw somebody in the cell. What has happened is a clear case of injustice. The people just don't care. They do and undo. They do whatever level they want to do because the people are poor and they want them to remain so, even though they make a lot of noise pretending that they are interested in the welfare of the people. But when you look closely, you will discover that the people at the top don't just care. They are selfish and self-opinionated. So I felt that first things first, I would try and teach the people how to think dynamically, how to think powerfully. The mind is about the most powerful equipment a man can be entrusted with by God. But we allowed even this mind to work against us because so many of the things that we think are not even true. They have been implanted by ignorant parents, a society that is conditioned to make you think like a slave, to make you concede what may even be your right. So I started this series of tapes to teach on money. When I say money, it's a generic term. I know some people, one of the biggest fallacies which comes from the misinterpretation of scriptures is saying that money is the root of all evil. No, it is the lack of money that is the root of all evil. In any case, the Bible says it is the love of money, not money per se. Money is a neutral energy. Money is a neutral force. Money is an idea. It's like water. Water can drown somebody, but it is the most important thing you need to exist. It's like knife. A knife can be used as an implement in the house, but at the same time, it can be used to cause a lot of damage. So the foundational thing is to know how to think the way you're supposed to think, to enable you make use of your brain to be able to affect your world. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So before I go further in the teachings I'm going to give later, I am beginning with the foundational thing, which is to teach the people how to think the way they are supposed to be thinking. Because if the people don't think dynamically, they will not be able to achieve what God has proposed for them during this time here on earth. So thinking is foundational to whatever we need to do to be able to get our lives in the way we want it. So that is where I start from before we talk about some other issues that we need to do in order to make our life what it's supposed to be. Thank you.